Hi, this is Brad Linder with Liliputing, and I have here a box from Lenovo, which I believe should contain the Lenovo IdeaPad S10-3t, which is a convertible touchscreen style netbook that you can use in tablet mode. This is a demo unit that was sent to me by Lenovo to test. So the packaging might not look identical to the retail packaging, but looks like this is a pretty typical Lenovo IdeaPad retail box. So let's take a look and see what's inside. Okay. Intel logo on the side, some information. On this side we've got an Intel Atom Pineview N450 processor, 1 gig of RAM, 160 GB hard drive, 10-inch display, and a 4-cell battery. This one's been opened before, so the tape is broken. There's some information for me. I've got power cable, and power brick, and that 4-cell battery, which is actually very light as far as netbook batteries go. It's, I'm sure you can see it here. What do we see here? It's a 29 watt-hour battery. So it's not necessarily the most powerful battery that I've seen in a ultra portable, but I believe there's a higher capacity battery option. S10-3t user guide, some information about accessories, and the laptop itself. Let's clean up the desk here a little bit. Take a closer look. So around the sides you can see that we've got 2 USB ports on this side and a VGA port. Switch here, which I think turns the wireless on and off. Over here there's a little button that says TV. It seems to be plugged up, so I'm not sure if there's anything in there, but I think on some models that might have more functionality. Lock port, power, Ethernet, mic and headphone. Looks like we only get a total of 2 USB ports, which is one less than you get on a lot of laptops, or a lot of netbooks, but you know, there's some extenuating circumstances here. On the front we've got an SD card slot, which has a little door that sort of opens up here. On the back, where the battery goes, you can see there's looks like a SIM card slot and battery port, and that's about it. And on the bottom there's a large access panel here, which I believe opening up should give you access to the RAM and possibly the hard drive and maybe some other components. We'll take a look at that later. Let's go ahead and put the battery in. Take a look at the rest. Okay, the battery is locked in place. We've got a couple of status LEDs up here on the top for wireless, battery, and power. And you'll notice here that there's a sort of piece of metal, and that's the swivel, because this is a convertible tablet, as I mentioned, which means you can rotate the screen. Before we get to that, let's take a quick look at the components here. There's sort of a textured pattern on the palm rest area. A very small touchpad that has integrated buttons. I mean, the width isn't bad, but it's not very high. It's got an integrated left and right button. Not my favorite layout, but given that it's not the only way to handle this laptop, you can also touch the screen, it might be bearable. The keyboard is nice and large. It does have Lenovo situation where the function key is to the outside of the control key. A lot of other laptops have the control key on the outside and then the function key. Once you get used to using it, it's not that bad. It doesn't have the chiclet style keyboard that a lot of new netbooks, including other Lenovo IdeaPad netbooks, have. Instead it has sort of a more traditional style where the keys are raised a little bit, and there's sort of a bezel or a beveled edge here. Full line of function keys. And as for the display, the camera is on the side of the display instead of the top, which is interesting and probably makes it easier to use the camera when you're in tablet mode. We've got a power button and a lock button here, which I think locks the screen position. We've got a volume key, key with a couple of arrows here. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Might be for rotating the display. And another button here. Let's take a look when we do rotate the display. Fits fairly comfortably in your hand. It's it's heavier than an iPad, but for a tablet, it's really not too bad. It's about 2.5 pounds, I'd say, maybe a little bit more. You can use it in landscape mode or portrait mode. The screen is pretty shiny here, so you see a lot of reflection right now where we are close to a window with bright natural light. But you can use it in a variety of different positions because of the rotating screen. I just have to get used to figuring out which way it rotates. So there you go. There's a first look. You'll notice that the screen actually doesn't quite meet up with the back, and that sort of gives you an interesting rotating option here. Let's see if there's any power in this guy. Okay, so it's powering up, and as it does that, let's take another quick look around the sides. I believe this model is running Windows 7 Starter Edition, which means it's not going to have support for some of the multi-touch gestures that you would get with Windows 7 Home Premium. There's also a line of status LEDs down here. There's actually more here than there are on the lid. But you can see the power, battery, wireless, hard drive activity meter. And it looks like we got a caps lock and I believe a number lock. Yep, that's what those are for. Okay, so as we tap on the screen, you can see a couple of things. First of all, well, one thing I just discovered is that the speakers sound pretty tinny. The cursor definitely moves around as I tap on the screen, so it's a capacitive touchscreen, meaning that it recognizes electrical impulses from your finger, not a resistive touchscreen, so you can't really use it with a fingertip. Now the other thing that I'm noticing pretty quick off the bat here is that as I tap it, the screen sort of wobbles a bit. So it doesn't quite hold in place as firmly as it could. Let's launch an application here. It's a little hard to do some things precisely. Well, it might have been because I was waiting for it to load, but... Okay, so yeah, I can maximize, minimize by hitting that button. No, I do not want to close. There we go. Ask me later. Okay, well, we're not connected to the internet right now, so can't really look at the scrolling. Looks like we're only getting support for single touch input at a time here. So that's interesting. In Paint, you either draw one line or draw the other line. So even though it's a capacitive touchscreen, looks like single touch for now. It does say that there's sort of an image here showing multi-touch gestures, so I'm going to double check and see if you can get any sort of multi-touch support. There's an application here, it says Lenovo VeriTouch. I believe this is, it lets you perform certain actions. You can log off the computer, lock the computer, restart the computer, sleep, or shut down using motions that you can set up. So there you go. So that's the first look at the Lenovo IdeaPad S10-3t touchscreen netbook with a convertible tablet style design. I'll be taking a closer look at this laptop over the next couple of days, and I'll have more information for you on this YouTube channel and on Liliputing.com. This is Brad Linder with Liliputing.